1-2 minutes. In the brief, let me tell you what I have covered so far in the last two sessions. So we started with the research is all about, just like the society is all about us, the research is all about the variable. Variables are related. Relation of the variable is called as the hypothesis. That's precisely what we look in the review of literature. We try to find what relationship is there between the two variables. In case there are conflicting literature where it says A leads to B and at times A doesn't lead to B, in that case you can take a null hypothesis. Otherwise, hypothesis is always directional. The meaning of the directional is you must always specify that this is the relation between the two variables. Then how to measure is the biggest thing. How to measure anything. So see, the scholars of science are so blessed because every single thing is certain. All units are certain, but in social science till date, we have not made any instrument which can tell me what's going inside your mind. So we have to ask a question and we have to rely on the other person. So if you need to check that other person is telling me truth or not, then we use reflective scale. And if you believe that other person will tell you the truth and just take the response as such, that is called as the formative scale. So in the reflective scale, along with the response, we are always interested in looking for whether the person is telling me truth or not. So we can never check whether the person is telling the truth. We can check whether the person is consistent. So if a person is consistently, lying, then also that's okay. We can say check only consistency. That is given by Cronbach alpha or composite reliability. These are the indicators. And when I'm asking the different thing, so do you understand that these are the all different issues? This is part 1 I asked, then part 2, part 3. If you understand that, that is called as the discriminant validity. Ability to discriminate between the constructs. So it's from the respondent side, we ensure that the person understood that this was something else and this was something else. So that is discriminant validity. Why discriminant validity is violated? In my videos, I have shared that whenever it comes to emotional responses, so whenever it comes to emotional responses, then discriminant validity is violated most of the time. Then we went ahead, we said, depending on whether it's a one variable or two variable, we have univariate and the bivariate analysis. In the bivariate, how you measure is very important. In univariate also, but in the bivariate, we set in the measurement two terms, metric and non-metric. So there are so many ways in which you can ask the questions, particularly in the survey. Experiments, it's always a ratio. Experiments, you take actual data, that's a ratio variable. So wherever the money terms comes, actual money, export figure, import figure, these are ratio variables. But when you take data in the survey, most of the time it's like gender, age. So in the age, we are not asking the actual age. We are asking we have made certain classes. 25 to 30, 30 to 35, so on. When these are in classes, it is called as non-metric. Binary is again non-metric. So one other name for non-metric is categorical measurement. So if it is categorical, so what is a categorical measurement? When the question is MCQ, when the question is binary, when the question is rank, when the question is of formative scale, these all are non-metric. What is metric? Reflective scale and actual data measured in the actual units with the open-ended question. These two are metric. So on the basis of metric and non-metric, we made a table 1, table 2, one variable, like I consider everybody, the people, I think 128 people are present. So if I'll note down everybody's age, actual age, so I can play with the mean, median, I can find out the mode, I can use the standard deviation, coefficient of skewness, percentile, decile, all this stuff we can work with. But if I simply note down everybody's, whether boy or girl, only two things when I note down, then there is no point of finding out the average. There is no average of this data. It can be just computed how many girls were there, how many boys were there. So it's count at the maximum I can say out of 128, this much percentage was there. So we can talk in terms of percentage. When it's a 2 by 2, so basically it's R, everything is R. So, for better understanding of R, we need to understand marriage. So if you understand marriage, then you will understand R, because it very closely resembles to that. So In the marriage also, there are so many, particularly if somebody is going for arranged marriage, there are so many permissions are required, that this person agree, that agree, chachaji, mamaji, buaji, nanaji, so many people, they need to give their consent, and then the things go ahead. So that's the sort of OLS regression, ordinary least square regression. 10 are the assumptions, 10 sort of nodding you require. This okay, 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 then you go ahead with it. So at times we have a case like, one party is agreed, parents of one side, they agreed, other they are not agreed. So half of the assumptions, it reduced to half, only one side. So we call it as a t-test or ANOVA. From the 10, it directly drops to 3 assumptions. Only 3 are the assumptions. That's why, because one is metric, other is non-metric. And when both are non-metric, absolutely no assumption, or rather at the maximum one assumption is there. That is, data must be large enough, sample must be large enough. So that becomes cross step. So tomorrow we'll talk about why R and T and F and cross step, they are all are one and the same thing. I have not differentiated between correlation and regression. Correlation and regression are simply, relation between two is called R, Karl Pearson coefficient of correlation. So R between X and Y is same that of Y and X. Relation between the two, there is no dependent, independent, both are at the same status. So now think of the marriage. Whenever boy and girl, they get married, one of them become a husband, other becomes a wife. Non-changeable, you can't transfer, non-transferable designation. For the next 50 years, 70 years, you can't say after 5 years, so now you become wife, I become husband. You can't say like this. So it means when it is known who's a dependent, who's a independent, we call it becomes regression. The same correlation becomes a regression when in terms of what is DV, what is IDV. Then it becomes regression. Correlation and regression is just the same thing. Regression is a better because here we know in terms of DV, IDV. And regression presupposes correlation in one of the indicator. So when there is only one dependent variable and one independent, this is called simple. Look for the terminology. Looking from the simple regression, it seems there must be something like complex regression. No, there is nothing like. What is meant by simple? Simple means independent one, dependent one. That is called simple. When independents are more than one, it becomes a multiple regression. So other than simple regression, there is something else called the multiple regression. So look, dependent variable is always one. In regression, if you violate this particular, can you believe it? This is also one of the assumption. If you violate this assumption that dependent is more than one, then you enter into the zone of MANOVA or path analysis or higher sort of analysis. So if dependent is one, independent can be many. There can be multiple regression. It can be a case of NV ANOVA, depending on how you measured your independent variable. So dependent is always one. So these are the things which we'll discuss. So far, I have just discussed, rather I have discussed very less. I have given more of the referencing, hyperlinking. This is the video, this is the video, this is the video. Because in the month of April, I worked with the campus technology. I took 3 sessions in 3 Sundays. I think every session is of 1.5 hours. So, if we start a discussion, we need to discuss that much. So that's why I avoided many of the questions, because those questions require a lengthy discussion. And here I am looking for the RStudio. So I have given you just the basic idea about the variables, hypothesis, etc. I want to discuss that in much detail. I have not started RStudio. Okay, so some of you gave me very interesting feedback. They said RStudio we couldn't understand. Well, thank God, because I have not started RStudio. So RStudio will talk in this session. Okay, so let me just share my screen and start where we were. So we were discussing about this particular page. In this particular page, okay, somebody is asking in the chat. I will answer this question about normality of a Likert scale maybe in the 4:30 session, in the last session. Okay, let's focus on particularly on this RStudio in this session, because else we will deviate. It's a lengthy discussion, but certainly I will take your questions. Okay, so in this one particular look for this, we are talking about the examples. Example is about the empty cars. Empty cars is in the base package. So if you simply write on your console question mark empty cars, it will tell you in the help section that what this is about. If it's not a readable, then it says it's extracted by 1974 Motor Trend US magazine data. It's actual data. 32 observations are there, and almost 11 are the columns. There is MPG, that's MPG stands for miles per gallon. Then there is CYL, that's a cylinder. Only 3 values are there. Vehicles got a 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder. There is HP, horsepower. DRAT, that's stand for real axle ratio. DRAT is the ratio of axle. Then there is a WT is the weight. QSEC is the second. It's in how much a second the vehicle reaches to this particular speed. A quarter mile time. QSEC stands for quarter mile, in how much seconds it will reach. VS, now this is a coded. V means V engine, or S means the state engine. Now VS, now look for this. Now this is going to create a problem. Remember, when you write anything in the numbers, by default RStudio or any other package will consider these are the numbers. So I must add them, I must calculate their standard deviation, mean, etc. But here we say no. 0 means V-shaped engine and 1 means it's a state engine. So it's a category of the engine. What sort of engine was there in the your vehicle? It means this is code. This should not be considered as number. This should be considered code. So you remember what I tell to R, what sort of data it is? Its name will be factor. So I will call it, I will instruct R that, hey R, this is a factor. So this is the point what I'm calling that first, if you remember something about SPSS, some of you know about SPSS, the first step is whenever you give any data into the code 1, that this is a code for this, like gender 1, 2, 1 is for boy, 2 is for girl. When you enter data like this, in that case, we have to first define what is the code. In SPSS, this is called in a variable view, but here we need to tell the same. Likewise, AM. AM stands for the data is 0 and 1. 0 means automatic and 1 means manual. So wherever 0 is there, it means that particular vehicle was having the automatic gear set, and otherwise it was the manual gear was there, 0 and the 1. Then gear, how many gears are there? It is a 3, 4, 5 sort of data. CRAB is data related to carburetor. So this is the data set which is available with all of you. Maybe tomorrow I will give you some files, but today we will work with the empty cars because this data is available with all of you. When you are using any file which is there in the package itself, then we don't require the first step of import. Import is always, as the name indicates, import means it's outside RStudio. So it's maybe Excel format, SPSS format, CSV format. But when something is there inside RStudio, you don't import. But yes, the rest of the 2 steps. Remember IVA, import. The second is view. Third is attach. These things you need to do. So you must attach and view. Like at the moment I have done the view. So if I'll find out the mean of MPG, mean bracket MPG. MPG is the name. It will say what is MPG. I don't know. Why? Because we have not attached it. After attaching, it will realize, okay, this MPG, I understood them. Then it will compute, else not. So either you can first attach, then view, or first view, then attach. These are independent, but importing is not required for the files which are there in the package. No importing is required. You can directly call them. So now the first step, let me explain you, then we'll go to the RStudio. The first point is what we will do. We will take this, I explained that write question mark empty cars means what is this data set? Tell me about it. So question mark is a wonderful thing. Before anything, write question mark and you will get the help. What is this? And view, remember V is capital V, view with the capital V. So view means just show me the data. So it will come here. Now when the data is shown here, I have actually specified the other column. So it's not something like other is gone. So you can see there is a maximize button. So if I'll click, it will again resized. So this panes the portion of the screen you can resize. When you bring here, the pointer changes to the arrow, then you can change this. But first, let's go ahead. I will work on this AM. Let me try to tell R how to tell. This is called data preparation. Whenever you take any sort of data, first thing is you tell that software what your codes means to. So here I will take AM. Now provide label to the code. The first thing is I strongly recommend you please don't type. You let RStudio do the thing. You type 3 alphabets and then use tab button, because look at the spelling of label. It's not L-A-B-L-E, it's a L-A-B-E-L. Okay, so you need to be very careful about this. So I wrote a command, A is equal to as dot factor M. Now let's take it one by one. Before that, I assume that I have attached the data file. Otherwise, it will say what is AM. So I have attached the data file. After attaching the data file, always read it from the, just like Urdu language, read it from right to left. So let's read it like Urdu. AM. So AM means what is AM? So it will check that yes, I got a file attached this empty cars. In that there is a variable called AM. If you don't attach, then it will say what is AM. Error will come. Okay, AM. Then it says as dot factor. Now as dot is one of the most wide command. You can practically convert anything to anything which can be converted. So I'm saying, let me convert. What sort of data is there? By default, AM. AM is the numeric data because R says all the numbers are written in it. So what we will say, we say as dot factor. Consider it as factor. So as dot is one of the wonderful command for converting anything into anything. So if you write as dot, a drop menu will come, and that's just such a wide drop menu. You will find, well, everything can be converted to anything. That is which is possible. Okay, so it's a okay, I got it, that whatever 0 and 1 is written, these are not numerical data, these are codes something. I understand that. Okay, what I should do for with that? Then I said A is equal to, it means I am saying with this knowledge that this is a sort of a factor data, these are the codes, not the numbers. You save it in the variable A. Now where is the variable A? There is nothing. So it's a okay, I understood that I need to make a new variable A. And where the new variable will go? The new variables always go to the global environment. One portion of the screen is called global environment. It will go there. So why it is meant by the global environment? Global environment means now it is possible that you open any other file and use that variable in the second file. Okay, it's perfectly possible. Now please tell me, is it possible that you have opened the two SPSS file and in one SPSS file you actually want the data of the other SPSS file? Means I want to run regression with the dependent variable of this file and independent variable of any other file. I doubt you want to be able to do that. First you need to copy that data and paste in this current one, and then you will be able to do that. But RStudio, it says absolutely no problem. You can say these are the three files, take the data of the first and the second and apply a regression in the third one. Using global variables, we can use that. That's why the name is global. It means you can use it practically. Whatsoever data file is open, I will take this variable there, global environment. So this data is available. So what its meaning is I have given an instruction to the R that convert the number. Look at the word numbers. By default, it's numeric. How do it know? Because whenever R understands only two things, either there is something called text or numbers. Okay, so if it is text, it will be considered string. If it is number, it will be considered numeric. If in that column of the numbers there is any text also written, then the entire column will be taken as the text. Okay, please remember that. Even if in any of the cell of that particular column, if there is any text, then the entire column will be taken as the text. So here I said convert the numbers 0 and 1 given in the variable AM. Where is the AM? That's in the attached empty cars. So you must attach that first, that AM, and convert it to the factor. What is meant by the factor? Factor means I'm giving instruction that here this 0 and 1, these are the codes. These will be counted. How many times 0 is there? How many times 1 is there? You count them. You don't add or take their sum or average. Don't do that sort of stuff. It is coding. Okay. And then further I said save it as another variable in the global environment. Okay. So if I just check summary is a fantastic command. I will use it a lot. Summary bracket A. So it means tell me about this variable. So if you find out the summary, it will tell 0 comes this time and 1 comes this time. I will just show you. Just listen it. If you are not getting, absolutely no problem. Don't panic. Just be with me. Just before that, just a request to admins. I hope you have started the recording. If not, please start the recording. Then next command I have written, A is equal to factor A labels seems to be a lengthy one. I think this is one of the most complex thing in the art. If you understand this, rest all are so simple. It is one of the most lengthiest thing. See what it says. First thing, A is equal to something. Now you can say, just you have written A is equal to this. Yeah, no problem. One property of R is R never objects. R will never say. So it means, okay, the name of the file is mtcars. There is no G in between. mtcars. Okay. So, though I will appreciate if you just listen to me now, we will do it little later. So, see, I wrote A is equal to 10. Then in the next line, I write A is equal to 12. Now, most of the softwares will say, hey, you have just said it's 10. Should I overwrite it or do you want to? They will ask certain things. R says, no, no, no. We understand that you are a wise person. So if you are saying 12, forget about the previous one. A will be 12. Third, you say A is equal to 20. So A will become 20. So it will never ever object that earlier you have written this and now you are changing. Absolutely not. So it means I have written this command. Now I'm saying override this with what? With what is written on this side. Okay, what is written? Factor. So number one, as.factor and factor are different commands. As.factor simply say convert, and factor says that whatever the variable is there, let me add something to it. I'm doing something on it. Factor. Please remember, as.factor and factor. These are two separate commands. This is not the same thing. As.factor simply say convert this into factor. What is meant by factor? You please don't consider it as numerical value. These are the codes. You just count them. This is non-metric. Okay. Factor is another command where you put additional information like labels. Okay. Then is a, now remember we read it from the right hand side. So right hand side, first this bracket factor. Okay. Give additional input to whom? To A. This. Now it will take the previous one. Take this A. Okay. Now what should I do with this A? Labels. Labels means this code got a value, a text value. Whenever I write 0 and 1 or 2, they got a meaning. Now in most of the softwares like SPSS, you need to give the code like 1 means boy, 2 means girl. R here also is very efficient. R say, I know about the data. I read your data. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 written. Don't tell me. Just sequentially give me the codes. Sequentially means first from lowest to the highest, give me the codes. So if there is 0 and 1, code will go to 0 and 1. If it is 1 and 2, the same code will go to 1 and 2. So it will say, I know your data. I already read your data because you attached the file. I read the data, that particular column. I know what values are in that column, and you converted into factors also. Now just tell me their values in sequence. So I write here as labels is equal to C. Now what is meant by C? C means here concatenation or combine. It says, please read it as whenever I give the command of more than one, then we use the C. If there is only one value, for example, the value is A is equal to 1, I will write factor A, label is equal to no C in double quotes automatic. If there is only one value, you simply provide it in the double quotes. If there is more than one value and you want to say in this order, respectively in this particular, so this is called as C this. I will use it a lot. It always means there are a group of numbers and the group of numbers must be handled in a ascending order and in this. So I have written here automatic manual. I have not defined who will be automatic. So it will say since your data is 0 and 1, so naturally 0 will be automatic, 1 will be manual. Had this data be like 51 and 53, so this one will go to 51, this will go to 53. So it will take the data in ascending order and just it says give me. Now since you know AM got two values 0 and 1, if I give it only one value automatic, so there can be an error. It says, well, I expected 2. If you give 3, there will be error. So if you give 2, it says, yeah, I got it. So 0 will be given a code of automatic, 1 will be given code of manual. After doing this, I will understand this. What I will do now, this command says overwrite it on A. So it's a double role. First, it will take this thing, do all the operation. 0 means automatic, 1 means manual, etc. And then you said overwrite it on. We could have done it as double A. or A1, A2, that's perfectly okay. But in general, we say why we require it will be create confusing. Sorry. So the second thing I said, provide the numbers. Now I've written as 0, 1 and 2. It's not 1 and 2, it's 0 and 1 actually. Given in the variable A in the with the label of automatic and manual respectively, and overwrite it on the variable A. So now if we take the summary of A, this time it will say automatic this and manual this. Okay, I will just show you it. So please remember these two. The first point, wherever, since most of you work with the survey method, and in the survey method, look at the MCQ questions, look at the binary question, ranking questions. They are not the numbers, they are the codes which you give. So we enter the data on the basis of code. Now, most of you these days work on the Google spreadsheet. Google Drive, you make a form, and form, the good thing is people reply, submit, and the data comes into the Excel format. Now, if you're working with that, please remember there you don't require this activity because the data is never in the codes 1, 2. If you wish to take that Google spreadsheet into SPSS, first you need to change male with 1, female with 2, and those numbers need to be pasted in SPSS. But in R, there is no such thing required. Okay, so please be very comfortable with the handling with the Google spreadsheets. So look for this A, factor A, this is this point, and the second A could be same, it could be different. It could be same, it could be different. We'll talk about it. There is one more thing, iterative methodology. The meaning of iterative methodology is we frequently do it in R. What we do, just like, see, I have written a command for AOV, analysis of variance. Okay, the names are so lovely, so small names. AOV, analysis of variance. Marks depends on gender. So in just this line, I wrote it the complete one. That gender, this is a non-metric variable, categorical variable, and marks, this is a metric variable. Marks depends on gender. Apply the analysis of variance. Don't worry, we will discuss it tomorrow. But what I said, whatever the output of this comes, save it in the variable X. I could have written it as AOV, marks depends on gender bracket, and press enter, something output will come. But here what I prefer, instead of showing out on the console, I say AOV this, take the output and put the output into the X variable. Okay, and then summary of the X. We will see that difference. If you simply write AOV etc., it will give you very, very precise answer. And if you get summary, it will give you a detailed answer. So this entire output I have saved in S. Now next I said I applied a Tucky test on that. That's a post-hoc comparison. Tucky HSD. This is really funny name. Honestly, significant difference. I don't know why Tucky was so, was under pressure or something. Why he has to write honestly significant difference? Okay, Tucky HSD. Now instead of writing this entire one, this output I put into the Tucky HSD. I saved this output in T. Then T output will come. Then I said plot T. So can you see what I'm doing? It's a iterative methodology, means in circular I will use first save the output of a function in a variable and then reuse. I saved the output of analysis of variance in X. X I used as argument in the next variable. Saved it into T and used T as argument in the next one. So this is a very frequent way we will go ahead. Except a couple of functions like t-test etc. For rest, majority of the functions I will go with this, that I will write a function, take the output, put it as argument, take its output, put it as argument in the next one. So this is sort of an iterative methodology. Now we can start with the RStudio. Okay, so I have asked the admins that please share this PPT, and hopefully they will share it soon with you. Now let's see the RStudio. Where is the RStudio? Let me open the RStudio. So this is RStudio. I have done it NFJU. Hope you must be able to just see it. Let me open any file I'm opening. Just or let's don't open any file. Okay. Now these are the four things. This particular thing, I request admins to give me a feedback. Are they able to see the screen, and is it readable? Suman, Akshita, anyone from the campus technology team? Okay. So I hope you are able to this, though it will create a
It
problem
is,
for
it is,
me.
it is visible, sir. It is visible. Sorry, I was on mute.
Readable
It is
also.
visible. Yes, yes, sir. It is readable and visible both, sir.
Okay. So if you want to, in your system, if you want to do any zoom or zoom in, etc., it's control plus and control minus. So if you are using external keyboard, so plus and minus are there with the arrow keys. So if you do control minus, so it's see, it becomes something like more things will come on that. And if you do control plus, it will be zoom. So I have used quite a zoom so that things may be visible to you. This portion is for the file as well as for the script. Now a shortcut for that is script is, it's say from here. It says file, new file, and first one is the script. And what is the shortcut? Control Shift N. Control Shift N. You remember in most of the softwares, Control N is the shortcut for new file in MS Word, text, PPT. Control N is the new file. So Control Shift N means a new file here, but that is of our script. That's as simple as good as a text file. So here is a sort of a floppy button here. So when you save it, next time just give the name and save with the capital R, dot capital R. Where it will be saved? Yes, first we should talk about that, where it will be saved. So there is always a default folder. So how to set the default folder? Actually, that's the first step. Go to the session, set working directory, and choose directory. Go to the session. This is always the first step you should do when starting working on this RStudio. What is this? A keyboard shortcut, if you remember, Control Shift H, that's better. Or it's a session, set working directory, choose directory. So see, by default, what is the directory? I told you in this PC, there is a documents. In the document, there is a folder R. This folder will come when you will install R and RStudio. This is my default folder. It means when I will ask it to open anything, it will search the files from here. If I'll say export, the things will be exported from here. I keep it this as the default. But if you want that maybe your entire files are there in D drive, you can make that as the default one for that session. And this step need to be done every time you start the RStudio. Or like me, you can work on the default one. Now just check it out. Let me show you my what are the contents in the R. So this one R, just see, it says images, ebooks, Win library, package, study material, Nishant, scripts, etc. Okay, the same things should be visible here in the file tab. So see here, cheat sheet, data file, ebooks, images, Nishant, etc. So all these files are visible here. Now you can open the files from here also, like day2R. If you click on it, so it will ask you opening the file. We can open directly. This is the syntax file. I can open from here. I can open all sort of the file. This is statistical analysis for the table, where table 1, table 2 I have defined. PDF file, etc. Word file. You can open from here directly. This is as good as opening your My Documents folder. So file we discussed. Package. How many packages? Do I have the package like summary tools? Let me check. SUMMA. It says with this you have the summary tools, you have APL pack, you have the Stargazer, the three. Why then this Stargazer? Because in the description it's written SUMM summary word. So it will find the summary word in the description or in the summary tool. It will say, well, this file is available. So if this package is available, that means I don't require an internet connection. Even in the offline mode, I can use this. Okay. And likewise, you can check out. If it's not available, then so click on the tools, click on the install package, and there you will simply write here as SUMM. Wait for the drop menu. If drop menu comes, that means you got good internet speed. If it's not coming, then it means, yeah, it means my net is properly connected, because this particular list, it takes from the CRAN. It takes from the CRAN server. That's why it takes a few seconds. Summary tool, click on the install, the things will be installed. So I asked you a couple of things. What are the things? I asked you that please install Movements, then Nortest, Psyche, CFA, or Lavan, Psyche. These are the packages. Do install CAR, CAR. So R works a lot on abbreviation. CAR doesn't mean Honda car or Maruti Suzuki car. It means a car is companion to applied regression. CAR stands for companion to applied regression. Now there are 16,000 packages. You must know about the package. Then somebody is asking that should we install the LearnR? Well, that's fantastic. If you know about any such package is there, LearnR, there is a package. If you know what's inside the package, you can go ahead with it. I never used this package. So if you know, then it's really good. What else is there? So let's try to work R. This is my console. I can write here also. I can write here also. One thing, because you know, console, it's just like you know, you remember its name. This is blinking, and the one I am moving. The one I am moving is called as the pointer, and the one which is blinking, it's called as the cursor. So this cursor, now look for, these are the 4 pins, but these 4 pins I can actually like minimize. So this is package. I can click here, console. I can minimize this. Now console is here available. For clearing the console, the keyboard shortcut is Control L. Clear. So it will clear the previous things. We often require it. Likewise, this one you can minimize. Okay, you can maximize it, and this will be minimized. But you can always customize it wherever you want. If you want this 3 pin, 4 pin, etc., you can always customize. No issues with it. In case you got a console on the left hand side, it is possible. Don't worry about that. It simply says from here, view pins, and here there is the option console on the left, console on the right. So most of the time it goes like this. If you install it, there are high chances that the console will be on this side. Okay, but this environment is not used enough. This file plot, they are not used enough. These two are required a lot. So my personal preference is I take console on the right hand side, so that these two I can minimize, and I write the input here, I get the output here. So let's see, let's start working with it. Simply R as the calculator. Okay, X is equal to 10. So remember, when you are writing in the console, you need to press, if I'll press enter, what will happen? Just like the text file, it will go, the cursor will go to the next line. If you want to run it, so press Control Enter, or there is this particular icon is there, which says run. So it says X is equal to 10, and now where you will get it? Look at this X is equal to 10. Okay. Now next it says X is equal to 12. Now most of the software will object. No, you just said it's a 10. But I'll say no problem. This value here is updated as 10. Okay. Then I say X is equal to 45 into 89. Control Enter. It says yes, it is 4005. So it's just like as a calculator, I'm using it. And whatever variable I'm making, the variables are coming here, new variable. Y is equal to for this. Okay. And Z is equal to square root of sqrt, just like Excel, X plus Y. Okay, Control Enter. It says yes, Z value comes. Where is that Z value? It says when you said that you must show the value, you simply said calculate Z is value this, so Z value is 97 point up to this decimal place. If you want to show Z, write Z, press enter, the value will come. 1 means this is the one thing which you asked for. If multiple, then it will be written 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is R as a calculator. We are simply using it. And the purpose of doing this exercise was, whenever you make a new variable, they will always come into the global environment. In the environment, global environment. Remember that. Let me clear this. There is no use of all these parts. Let me import data. Just see how to import the data. Number 1, you must have those packages. What are the name of the package? Read R for importing the CSV file. Read Excel. So let me do one thing. Let me show you that particular read. Oh, where is the package? Package. In that, instead of this, let me write read. So read R for read rectangular text file. This is for CSV. Read Excel. This is for reading the Excel file. And likewise, we can go for Haven. Haven. Do I have that? Haven? Yes. Import data of SPSS data, SAS data, you can import. So Haven should be there. If you don't have, then you know what you need to do. Go to their tools, install, and give the name and install it. In a minute, it will be installed. Now let me work on I'm working at the moment, I'm in the base package. So in the base package, I have a thing called empty cars. Question mark, empty cars. Here, you need not to press control button, because in the console, if you write something, enter will do. So it says, let me minimize it. It's a motor trend car road test. The data was extracted from 1974 data, and this is the things. 32 observation, 11 are the variables. The name of the variables are, first is MPG, that's miles per gallon. This slash is for per miles per gallon. CYL is the cylinder displacement, and coming here, VS. V is the V-shaped engine and 1 is the state engine. Likewise, AM, 0 means automatic transmission and 1 means a manual transmission, gear, etc. CYL is the number of cylinder, which is only 468. Let's minimize it. We don't require it. If you want to clear this XYZ, this is sort of this button, clear object, clear, yeah, clear all. Okay. So let's see here. Remember IVA, but we don't require import. But let me show you how to import the data. We will work on the empty cars, but let me show you how to import. Import from base, readr, Excel SPSS. I want Excel data. Okay. So the moment this menu starts, there is a browse. Yeah, browse. Where is it? Which folder it will search for? The folder document R. Remember, it will search the default folder. Your default folder. It's there in the data files. In the data files, I want to open this demo file. Is it Excel file? Yeah. So there is a very minor difference. This is CSV. This is Excel demo. So please look for the what it has done. Just allow me to. It's retrieving the preview data. I cannot minimize it here. See here it's written library RE demo. This. It means we could have written in the console. We could have written the commands, or somebody has made this menu that you come from here, and the code will be automatically written for you. Now, when we import it, generally the name will be kept as name of the file. Like it proposes in R, let's call it as a demo. If you say instead of demo, I will call it as a data or data set. You can change from here. If you're working in R is importing Excel file, now remember in the Excel there are number of sheets. It might be possible which sheet you want to import, maybe 5, 6. So here you can use the drop menu, demo, normality test, etc. Which particular sheet data you require. Then whether you require entire sheet data or you may restrict first 100 file, first 5 columns, etc. You may restrict, or number of rows you can give. First row as the name, it's always good. First row as a name. So Excel, we make it a rule whenever you enter data in Excel, the first row should always be column heading. That's a golden rule in Excel that will help you a lot in successive work. So it says name, and see automatically it has taken character. Okay, it's RV stored a character, age, because it contains number as well as text also. And I told you that in the cell, if there is even a minimum in any of the cell of that column, there is any text, the entire column will be considered as the text or character. This is also there. Income, why these are numbers, but there is a hyphen. Because of this hyphen, this entire is considered as a character. If no hyphen, this will be taken as a numeric data. Gender, boy, girl. Qualification, PG, UG. Math, see, there is no hyphen, nothing. So it is taken as double. Now, what is meant by the double? Double is again a sort of a data type for a very large number. Very large number is called as the double. These languages comes from C, C++. Somebody asked a question that in which language RStudio was made. I'm not, see, R was made. R in itself is a language, dear. And when we make a language, we actually make the compiler of that language. But yes, RStudio, I can tell you, it's primarily it was made in C++. Later on, they might have added something. R in its own is a language. So they make compiler basically for making any language. RStudio initially was made in C++. Now they might have added something. So these are the terminology from C and C++. Decimal in computers is called as float. After decimal place, how many numbers will come? If it's a large number, it's called as the double. So those sort of stuff, number, double, etc. All are considered as the double. Though it's a 5-point scale, quality 1, quality 6. This is the Likert scale statement. So now what I will do, I will go to, can I find import? Yes, import. Now in the global environment, we should see that should come. Where is my import? It says yes. And by default, see there, view is also there in that. In that package I opened here in the Excel. So see, by default, can you see here, view is also written, view database, the data set. That's also written there, V with the capital V. So we can see this. Now we get this one. So let me try to see it. Let's say Hindi is there. Find the mean of Hindi. So it said object Hindi not found. Which Hindi? Where is it? So say it's here. No, we forget to attach. Remember, until unless you attach, what we have done, we imported, we viewed, but where we have attached. So we cannot work on a Hindi. So there are two ways. Either I will say simple way is, no, first let me show other ways. I say, you know demo is there with you. So when you want, it's a very important thing, dollar. Now dollar in Excel means something else. It's for addressing system, and dollar in R means when you want a small portion of something, that is dollar. Let me repeat it. Dollar in Excel, it's always for the addressing system, for making its absolute addressing system. But when you are working with the RStudio, dollar means, say I'm writing here as mean of demo dollar. Now it says dollar, demo dollar. It says demo, I got 32 variables. I got so many things. What do you want from this? All those things come here. These are all the variables. Now I will say that HI. So it said, do you want to Hindi? Yeah, Hindi. Press tab. See on the left hand side, tab button is there. Press tab, Hindi. And if you press enter, it will tell you. So one method is always tell it this file and this variable. Okay, the easy method is you say no. I hope you like this. You write only 3 alphabets. It will say, do you want to write attach? Yeah, attach. What attach? Demo. Attached. Okay, now I can write here as mean of Hindi. Now it know what is meant by this. 71.35. 23 is the answer. Okay, shall we clear it? This. Now few people will say, well, that is okay. That's a simple, but if again I have to write a mean of English, I have to write entire this. No. RStudio comes to a rescue. Either you should have written it here. Why you are writing it in console? Console is temporary. If you want it permanent, for example, if I write it here as mean of Hindi, it comes. Now this is available with you. Anytime you can come back and run it. Okay, this is first. So, but I have made a mistake. I have not attached and I have not done. No problem. Remember, history. It remembers everything you done. It says library, then you worked view, then we worked with this demo Hindi, attach demo, send to source. It comes here. Oh my God, it comes in between. So before it, let me create on this place. I said from the history, send it to source. It comes here. So whatever you require a mean of anything else, mean demo Hindi, view, etc. You can send from here. But ideally, preferably, you should write the things in the syntax in this one, script. How to get the script? Control Shift N, a new script file will come. And if you want to save it, how will save it? Where it will save? It will save in the default folder, my first script. If I'll save it, it will be text file, .R. That's it. .R will say, okay, this is a new file. And shall we see how it appears like in the R folder? So my first script, it will seem like this. If your RStudio is closed, you double click, first RStudio will open and then this file will open. Okay, clearing the console. What is the shortcut? Control L. We'll put it clear side by side. Okay, now let's work on, this was about the importing part. That's pretty easy. You can import, only that package should be there. So now we should work with empty cars. Question mark empty. Now check for the spelling, not G, empty cars. So it will tell you, question mark means tell me about it. So it starts from here. No import required for the files which are in the R itself, which are in the packages itself. But yes, they require view with the capital V. So it comes here, right? These are the things, correct? That's good. But in that, this variable MPG, I can work directly. It's numeric. We can ask it str. What is the structure of this MPG? It says no. What is MPG? At times it seems like it should have been intelligent. Attach MPG, not MPG. Attach empty cars. Okay, attached. Now, will the structure work? MPG. It says it's a numeric variable. It's a numeric variable. There are 1 to 31, and it's written 22. Next is 21. Third one is 22.8, 21, and so on. So it's a numeric variable. Okay. And what about str? What about the am variable? Am also numeric because it contains only two value. But do you remember? Here it told that am, actually am means a is for 0 means automatic and 1 is manual. Now see, this is the problem. If you ask for summary of am, so what it should tell? It will tell minimum is 0, maximum is 1, median is this, mean comes 0.4, first quartile, third quartile, but it's useless. Actually, these are codes. I expect R to tell me how many times 0 was there, how many times 1 was there. I don't want this mean median. Just think of, if I said 1 means boy, 2 means girl, and analysis comes 1.32. What is that? What is meant by this? When it is boys and girls, only count should be done, not this sort of stuff. So let's say it like A is equal to as dot. Now just see, as dot, it's such a big one. Just see how many things are there. It's one of the biggest one as as dot. You can convert POXIT. POXIT is basically for date and time. It's called POXIT functions. So see how much we can change anything to anything. So I said as dot factor, press tab. Have you noted this thing? The moment I am writing here as dot fact, okay. So just not one more time, as dot factor. And if you bring here on the left hand side, can you see this? It start telling you about that. Press F1 for additional help. As dot data dot frame this I will do this. It starts telling. It's ready to teach you. Press tab and I say AM. Do you understand what its meaning? And please remember, you need to do it only once with the file. And there's the same thing you need to do with your SPSS also. It's the same thing. So we are just telling, hey, this AM is not numeric data. It is factor data. So as dot factor. Okay. So where is this A? Check this out. Can you see this? A is a factor with two levels. There are only two levels, 0 and 1. Now look for, if I'll ask for summary of A, it says 0 is 19 times, 1 is 13 times. So after all, it's not that stupid. If you properly train, R can become intelligent also. Since you have given the data AM like 1 and 0 and R assumed these are the numbers. So when you ask for its summary, it will give minimum, maximum, first quartile, third quartile and so on. But we told no, it's not the numeric data, it's factor. Now what's a factor? Anything to whom we will give the code. Okay, so here you should prior know that there is something called data collection. Then you go for data entry, and data entry we do primarily in the codes. We don't give like exact thing, we give the codes. Multiple choice question options will be considered as the codes. Now this is okay, 0 is coming 19 times, 1 is coming 13 times, but we will be more happy if instead of 0 we find automatic and manual transmission, isn't it? So let's do that also. So how to do that? Let me do it in another variable called A1. Factor is the command for the same factor. Now it says which variable I should work in. You should work in A. Where is A? In the global environment. Okay. Then LAB. Use this one. Don't type. Okay. Let R work for you. Please don't type. Because most of the time people are so intelligent, they say exact spelling is LABLA. No, we will use the spelling which R believes is true, LABEL, labels. Then is there only one label you need to give, or there is more than one? Well, I remember there are the two levels, automatic and manual. So I must use this respectively. C means in this order. What is the order? In inverted commas, automatic. Why in inverted comma? Because anything in the text format, text is always written in the double quotes. And the second one is manual, with M as the capital, manual. Have you noted one thing? The moment you start with single quote, R says maybe you will forget. Let me put the double quote, because you need to write something inside it. So it says with that. The moment you put a bracket, it closes the bracket. This part was missing in Excel. manual. Okay, that's it. And after doing all this operation, factor of this, where should I save it? This output, I said save it in the variable a1. This a1 is not there, so it will make a new one. Done. So it comes a1 with this, and now you can check its name is given a factor with two levels 0 and 1, 2 to 2, something like this, and a1 is with automatic and the manual. Okay, it gives its meaning. Okay, let me check summary of a1. Is it better now? Automatic are 19, manuals are 13. I know you must be wondering that you have to do a lot of things. No, we are not doing a lot of things. It's just done once, and for every software you need to do it here. You need to do it in SPSS, you need to do it in MyStat and all other softwares. Once you need to tell the software. Softwares are not like God. They will understand what you mean by this. You need to tell once, only once, then it will be simple. So let me just do something else for CYL also. CYL is the cylinder. So let me make the name as C. Doesn't matter. You can write any name. See, in most of the languages, there are the reserve words. Reserve words means the software will say you should not take this name. You should not do this. Should not. R is just open, flexible. You can give anything. R says absolutely no problem. So C is equal to S dot factor CYL. Okay. And then, well, why I'm doing all the thing here, Control L, let me do the things in here so that next time I can take it from here, my first script. So don't worry about the previous one, they are safe. Let's take it from here. We have attached to source, summary to source, yes, we worked, as dot factor, then summary of A, then A1, then summary of A1, then C, all the source. Okay, let's work here. Here it will work a little bit more with the colors, etc. It will tell you these things. Shall I show you one thing? Label is in the next line, this is in the next line, and this comes in the next line. Now this particular command I have written in 4 lines. No worries, it's space independent. Press, it will be the same answer, considered as the 1 line. Okay. Now one thing will come a lot with you. For the beginners, it comes a lot. Yes, I'm repeating the labels, but just see one interesting thing that will come. Somehow it becomes like this, and we press enter. Okay. Now number 1, it will give you error. It all the time reads. It says some mistake is there, something is wrong here. Okay. So okay, let me press the bracket. Press enter. Again, it's saying something is missing here. Okay, somebody is saying something. There is absolutely no rule. As per my knowledge, there is no rule. You can give any name to the variable. There is absolutely no thing. So let me put the bracket, and the moment you put the bracket, I think this should be okay. Is this okay? Yeah, it's okay. So let me see one thing. Sum of 5,6, and this bracket I have removed for some purpose, and control enter. Okay, now see what is happening. It says sum plus. What is meant by plus? No, press enter. You press enter, it won't leave. But it says R is a very patientful. It says, yes, I am expecting this code is not complete. I am waiting something, you please add. So you say, okay, this bracket are you expecting? It will say, yeah, it's 11. So it means if you write improper code or something, then it will say that you missing something, I'm expecting something more. So it happens with the beginners a lot. You write something and you say, well, even my greater than symbol is not coming. All I'm watching is the plus symbol. Plus symbol indicates R says something is missing. So either what you can do, you write this and control enter. If you are not able to get out of it, press escape. Escape means forget about the previous one. This is first way. The second method is you in the console, wherever you remember, complete the syntax and press enter and you will get the error. This happens a lot with the beginners. So R is what if I write capital F? Right, let's see. It says, well, couldn't find the function factor. What is meant by factor? I don't know what is factor. Why so? Because R is a case sensitive language. For the factor, it has to be small f, not capital F. But Yes, it means you can make a new function with the capital F and the name as the factor. You can make absolutely no problem to that. But it's a case sensitive. Meaning of the case sensitive is please write everything in the lower case, and then if you require something in uppercase, then okay. Otherwise, for all the stuff, it's in the lower case. Somebody said that can we just have a revision of labels? Why not? Certainly. So let me remove this. Let me explain it from the start. See, AM, you understand? This is AM. Let me remove this demo. AM, look at the AM. It's in numbers, right? So let me find out the summary of AM. Control Enter. It says minimum, maximum, mean, median, etc. When minimum, maximum are conducted, only when the data is of numeric nature. First you understand? I will request the admins once again to share the PPT with you. The point here is univariate when there is one variable that is numeric. We calculate mean, median, standard deviation, etc. But when there is one variable that is non-metric. Now what is non-metric? MCQ questions, binary question, ranking question, formative scale. These all are called as the non-metric. So when they are non-metric, what we apply? We apply the count and percentage. Okay. So for the AM, since look at the AM, you yourself are telling AM is 0 and 1. And 0 and number, as far as ours understanding, 0 and 1 are the numbers. So numbers must be summed up. They must be minimum, maximum. We do this with the numbers. Then you said, no, these are not numbers. These are codes. When you say these are codes, this is the way you are saying it's a factor. Please remember, factor means it appears as a number, but it is a code. It means something else. Don't get the total. Read it how many times it was there. You understand the meaning of handling non-metric codes? Factor. Factor is a very important word. Okay. Okay. Somebody is asking when we do plus symbol, control plus, what happens? Actually, what I said, sum of 4 and 5. Now, can you see there is a mistake? I have not closed this bracket, control enter. When in the console I get plus, plus means R says I expect something else from you. Something is missing here. I expect something from your side. So if you keep pressing enter, R will always say yes, I'm listening. Either do this, complete that code. Okay, if you complete the code, what will happen? Answer you'll get. Else what you can do, if you are tired and you don't know what is happening, escape means forget about the previous, come out of that. That is called forgetting about the previous, and that's escape. There's a question, what is okay, I'm so happy with your questions. At least questions tell me that you are not sleeping. Challenge of the online class. So what is meant by C and what is meant by dollar? Okay. First, can anybody guess attach means attaching? So if I want to say, don't forget about empty cars. I think the command is detach. Detach empty cars. Okay, it's a detached. Let's check it out. How to mean of MPG. It says where is MPG? We don't know. Okay, so what we'll do? Attach empty cars. No import required for the files that are in the base folder. It's attached. How do you know it's attached? One thing, you can write empty cars here in the console and just see. Can you recognize this symbol? It's a symbol of a spreadsheet. It means this is particular file. This is a file. This is a spreadsheet. Press empty cars. All the things will come here. There, it's attached, right? If it's attached, can I found the MPG mean of MPG? Mean of MPG. Can I find that? It's there because it's attached, right? But what if the case? Let me again detach it because empty cars in the base folder. I must do something from here. Do I have a demo? No, I don't have a demo. So let me import from the Excel another file called demo. It's there in the data files and the demo. Yes, sir, taking a preview. A minute. Import. Okay. What I have done, I have imported. Step number 1 I have done. Step number 2, automatically when I use that menu, in that menu it was written view. So I can view also. Remember, I have not attached. Now in this, I know there is a variable called science, Hindi, English. These are the things. I want the mean of the science. Let me find out mean SCI. Python. Have I attached this file? Okay. It should have said no. So detach demo. Okay. Now mean of science. It says science not found. I can see this file demo here. I can see this demo is written here, but since the file is not attached, so whenever you work on the mean of SCI, it will say no, it's not there. It means what we will say, write demo, and in that demo, then next step I'm saying dollar. Now meaning of the dollar is in this file, what are the name of the columns? These are the name of the columns. So it means what is meant by demo? The question was what is meant by dollar? Meaning of the dollar is if you want to take a subset of the main data, a portion of the main data, generally like one column from the entire, we can use either one, we can use the dollar, for example, SCI, and we get answer. Still I have not attached. So if you work on the mean SCI, it will say no, sorry, not found. So one method is always give first the name of the file and the name of the variable. The second method is you attach demo. Okay. The moment you say attach demo, now it knows your variables, mean of this, it comes like this. Hope you understand the meaning of dollar. The meaning of the dollar is when you want to take a column from a given thing. I'm saying given thing because it's file sometime later, maybe tomorrow I will say this is the entire output. From the entire output, take out this particular thing. We will use a dollar. Dollar is take out a little part from a bigger part. That is the dollar. There was another query. The another query was why we are writing C. Okay, let's see the meaning of this C here. So the meaning of the C is when there is more than one thing we are providing. Let's see what is that. So I was telling you the story of revision of labels. Summary of AM, it comes into this when we said no, it's A is equal to as dot factor AM. Now what I told it? I told C, forget about the AM, or take the AM, convert it to the factor and save it to the variable A. Done? Where is it? Global environment. A is there, factor. Okay. Now if I find the summary of A, it says 0 is 19 times and 1 is 13 times. As dot factor means I said it's a factor. Don't add, don't find its mean, etc. Just count how many times 0 was there, how many times this was there. Let me show you another example. C is equal to, first let's find the summary of CYL. It's a cylinder of your vehicle. It's only 3 options are there, 4, 6, 8. But when I take, it says mean comes out as median is 6, mean is 6.188. Meaningless. Because vehicle has only either 4 cylinder, 6 cylinder, 8 cylinder. So mean should not be counted. We should count how many times how many vehicles are there with the 4 cylinder, how many vehicles with the 6 and 8. How to do that? Let's say C is equal to as dot factor CYL. Or instead of C, I will write some other name so that we don't get confused. Instead of C, I will write complete cylinders. Okay, cylinders is equal to this. Now, if you take the summary of cylinders, don't worry, I need to type only 3 for alphabets and then press tab, control enter. It says 4 cylinders are 11 times, 6 cylinders there are 7 vehicles, and 8 cylinders there are the 14 vehicles, right? Now, will you prefer if instead of 4, it's written 4 cylinders, 6 cylinders? Now, if you want to give, had it been only 1, we will write label is equal to this. But since there are 3 in number, first, let's do the same with AM or A. A is equal to, or if it's making confusing, let's write A1 is equal to factor. Take the variable A, provide the labels C. C means there is more than one value and the labels must be given in this sequence. See, this is 0 and the 1. The values in the A are 0 and the 1. Okay, so double quotes, automatic, comma, this one is complete. The second one is M for manual. Control enter, done. And now if you run summary, I can just put one here also. Sequencer does not matter. It's not like it's written first. You can work this again. You can work anyone. You can work summary of A1. It comes automatic 19, manual 13. Okay, let's look for the same for the cylinders. So I say cylinders, cylinder 1 is equal to factor. What was the name of the variable where your data is there? Cylinder. Why not CYL? Because CYL is still numeric data. What is the factor data? Factor data is in cylinders. Please look for this. CYL, it's numeric data. Cylinder, it has been converted to factor. Numeric has been converted to factor. That numeric I am giving the values, meaning of 4, 6, 8. So for the cylinders, let's go with the next line. Cylinders, what is the way? Labels. C means in this order. What are these? First one is now order. I need to know there are 4, 6, 8. Can you see it here? 4, 6, 8. This is here 4, 6, 8. So first one will be called in the increasing order. First will be called as 4 cylinders. CYLINDERS. And let me copy this. Copy. The next one comes at inverted comma 6 cylinders, comma, next one comes out as 8 cylinders. Okay, control enter. Now if you want to check once again for the summary of cylinder 1, it says I got cylinder and cylinder 1. The answer comes 4 cylinders are 11, 6 cylinders are 7, 8 cylinders are 14. Okay, so this is part 1 is covered. Let me quickly do one more. VS, V for V-shaped engine, S for straight engine. So V is equal to S dot factor VS, number 1. Step number 2, V1 is equal to factor V with labels. C means there are more than one, and in this order, V-shaped engine. This is equivalent to variable view in SPSS. I am providing the meaning of the codes, and VSS is for straight engine. Okay, control enter. This comes, and let's check summary of V1. It comes V-shaped engine 18, straight engines are 14. Total is 32. Yeah, now we are ready to do all sort of analysis. Our data is ready. There's a question with dollar. We can take 2 columns or more. Okay, if you want to take more than 1 column, dollar is for 1 column. If you want to take more than 1 column, then we use bracket for that, capital bracket. These are the 2 criteria of selection. Just let me show you. It's good you asked this question. Just see the empty cars. Empty cars, it starts with the MPG, cylinder, displacement. For example, if you want to choose any one of them, it's called dollar. Dollar, only one you can fetch. I want to fetch CYL, DASP, and HP. So for that, the other option is capital bracket. Let me say data is equal to, what is the name? Empty cars, capital bracket. So whenever you write capital bracket means a selection. Dollar means 1 column, capital bracket means more than 1. So I can write it as, say this becomes sort of a matrix. It says how many rows and columns. For example, just look for this 1 comma. It means first row and all the columns. When it's missed out, it means all the columns. Check it out, this data. So I should write this data. I selected it, control enter. So look for, this is the data of first row, 21, 6, 160, 110, 3.9, 2.6, right? If I do it like this, not here, this is blank and this is 1. So what will happen? It is, what is the syntax? Number of row, comma, number of column. So I wrote it like this. It means all the row, when it's left blank, it means all the row of first column. So it becomes like now this, control enter, it becomes, see this, 21, 21, 28, 21.4, 18.7, 32. So what is meant by this 26, 31? Actually, it simply counts. It helps you. Like these are 5. This is the 18.1 is the 6th observation. And this is R is so intelligent. It works on, like if this is the scenario, shall I run it once again? Now this is 10. It understands in the first there were 9. It comes 10. It won't change now. But if you, let me do screen size only this much. If you do here, then R will work on that in the first line 11 etc, then this is 16 etc. This will work with this way. So this is 26, so this will is 15.1, this is 31st, then 32, this is 26th, then 27, 28, 29, 30, this is 31, this way. So it will just help you. So if you have to take two columns CYL and HP, so what we can do, all the rows of column number 2 and 3. And now let me remove this and directly run. So just check it out. Do I have more than one column? I have the data of, obviously I can put M is equal to, I can save it in somewhere else, but here it becomes this one. So what if I want from 2 to 5? So these are the column number 2, 3, 4, 5. Except MPG, CYL, displacement, and then DISP, HP, DRED, etc. those. If I'll say 1 column 3, what it means? First 3 rows of these columns. So 3 row and the 4 columns are there. 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want all the data except second 2 or this data, so you can write minus C. It means except this, rest all the. So it says except this one, rest all of the data will come here. First 3 rows of all columns except 2, 3, 4, 5. This data will come. Okay. Okay, there is a question. Please explain how to take a variable in one. Dear, are you looking for? Actually, demo file have I opened? Demo file. Is this available? Demo? Yes, it's available here. So from the demo file, let me take D is equal to demo, and from the demo file, let me take out the first 32 observations of column number 8. So what is this? Let me see this. When this symbol comes, it means R is processing. Okay, this is the math column 32, and table is another name of table. It provides into this format with the 22, 10 rows it has shown, and 22 more are there. Now this D is the data from the demo. Do you understand? From the demo, I extracted 32 rows of 8th column. So first look at the demo. In the demo, look at the 8th column. 8th column is this math. So I took 32 observations from it. Now let me try to work. M is equal to MPG plus D. M. So what is this value? Math, MPG data, and plus I have taken the math data. Check it out once again. What is MPG? MPG is this data. What is the D data? This is the 87, etc. So can you see this data is different, this data is different. 87 plus 21, 108. Can you get this? 21. This is from mtcars file, and D, this data I have taken from that file, demo file. Obviously their numbers should be same. You can't say the mismatch that these are 5 and these are 32 add, then it will get confused or give some strange results. Otherwise 21 and 87, let's add it. So the command I wrote, it was M is equal to, or forget about the M, directly MPG plus D. So it will come like this, 108, 110. So you can work. The point here is when you take something into the global environment, now it's no longer associated with that file. Na? From that file, you brought something to the global environment. Global environment is open to all. Anybody can fetch and you can perform operations from here. If it is in the file, certainly it's a challenge to take data, but take it to the global environment. That's the beauty here. Like I just said, D is equal to demo, capital bracket. What is meant by capital bracket? Selection of the data. So there are 2 ways of selection of the data. One is the $, 1 column of that particular thing you fetch out, and a bracket means more than 1. So I said 32 rows of 8th column, and then we can make D, which we can use in the mtcars also. Okay, so let me quickly now show you few other things. let me first work with the empty cars, and the name of the variable is MPG. Shall we see this first variable MPG? What we can do? We can do. Let's see. Do you remember this unit number 1 of statistics? What are the various things we can apply? Mean of MPG is this much. Okay. Median of MPG, and the names are so simple that you need not to remember. Just the simple name. Standard deviation of MPG. This quartile here is called as the quantile. QUAN quantile. So it says 0 quantile means what? It's a minimum. And what is the 100% quantile? It is the maximum. 25th percentile, first quartile. 50 is it's as good as median. 50th quantile is median. 75 quantile, etc. These are the quantiles. Other than that, if you want to find something like mean of MPG, so it will say this much. Max of MPG, so it will say this is 33.9, etc. Right? You can do all sort of stuff. So can you find the skewness also? It says you wrote skew. It says, well, what? I don't know what is skew. Okay, no problem. So let me do here as require REQ. It comes drop menu, require. What is the name of the package? Movements. Control enter. Loading. Now write skew. It says, yeah, skewness from the movements. Okay, yeah, MPG of that. So it comes 0.64. Kurtosis of MPG, PG, it comes 2.79, etc. Right? But the problem here is what I was saying, that you need to type every single. Can't we do just one command and everything will come here? So many packages are there, wonderful packages. And one which I prefer is called require summary tools. Summary tools, right? So it says something. It was built for the version 3.6.3. Now you are using version 4. Don't worry. So now I know this summary tools is there. It's a very good package, but I forget what was the name of that function. No problem. We have something SU summary tools : Now it says the various things available are clear TMP, C table, define keyword, descriptive, DF summary. Can you see this pattern? It says exam ENS, exams. These are the files. These are the data set. On the left hand side, it's also written. This is the data set of 30 students, or exams, simulated hypothetical data with the 30 students. So please recognize this symbol. These are the functions and these are the files. Those are data sets. Tobacco, TB, etc. So what is this DESCR? It says this will provide you the details of calculates mean, standard deviation, minimum, maximum. So isn't it a wonderful thing? You need never, require to remember these things. Why you need to remember these things? R is there to help you. But yes, if you remember about the package, that's a great thing. Write the name of the package, descriptive, and write the file. Empty cars. Will it work for the entire one? It's a no. It works only for the one particular thing. Okay, not empty cars. MPG. Will it work for this? Yes. It says see. Descriptive N is 32, mean is 20.9, standard deviation, minimum, median, maximum, interquartile range, coefficient of variation, skewness, standard error, kurtosis, percentage valid. What is N valid? It's looking for the missing frequency. If it is 30, it means total was 32, but 2 are missing. 32 means entire data. So this is a very handy, all in one go we'll get. If there is one variable, we can work with this. In case there is other, like what to do, we cannot find this of, what was the name of our variable here? M or A. Can we find of A? Well, X must be numeric. A is not numeric, A is a factor. For that, we have something called table. Two are the variables, either table 0 and 1 or summary. But A was only factor, so we gave it some other name. A1 we have given. Okay, so let's work for the table A1. So it's say automatic 19, manual 13, or you can use as summary of A1. It says automatic. Both will work the same. But table is a very multi-purpose. You know, the power of R comes here, really. You will just love it. Table A1, comma, V1. What is A1? A1 is this one, and V1 is the factors. Just see, it becomes 2 by 2 table. It may not be properly visible to you. Now see, can you see it becomes 2 by 2 table? Now look for the third thing. Table, this is the same. It means the same particular thing. Table command is for univariate, bivariate, as well as multivariate. So I remember its name was cylinder 1. Cylinder 1. Now just see, it becomes cylinder for this for n data. Maybe I need to put little bit of this. So for 4 cylinder, 8 cylinder, for A1, for V-shape engine, this is the table. For straight engine, this is the table. Do you see this? So now it's a multivariate because 3 variables are there: cylinder, A1, V1. So I made it that for the V-shaped engine, make it a separate. For a straight engine, make it a separate. So same command, table. So if you use for 1, it will give 1. If you are using 2, like I worked here with the 2, so it made 2 by 2 table. Automatic V-shaped engine, there are the 12 vehicles. Hope it's visible to you. Automatic V-shaped engine, there are the 12. See it once again. If I'll write this cylinder 1, so it comes 4, 6, 8, only this. Then I said, okay, with V1. I hope there was something called V1. So whosoever you are writing first will go to the column, other will go to this column. First will go to the rows, etc. Let's change this order. So this is whosoever you will write first will go here. The second will go here. Instead of this, if I'll do it like this, table V1, comma this. Now see what will happen. V shaping, they comes here, 4, 6 got into these columns. Can you see? Whosoever you will write first will come into this. Later, it will go here. Likewise, let's go for a multivariate. In this, I will check for the third one, that is A1. Actually, for this, it will split the table. So it will split the table. For A1 automatic, this is the table, and for manual, this is the table. Maybe it's not properly visible because I have used zoom to a great extent. Let me remove that. It will be more clear now. Now it's better. So for the automatic, so it means this will be the table will be made for this, for the third one, and segregated. Now I know you must be wondering, no, why not make a complete table? Meaning of the complete table is, see, I want these 10 to be further divided. These are the 10 vehicles who had the straight engine and 4 cylinders. How many of them were actually with the, what is the third one? Automatic and manual. Divide this, not to make the 2 separate table 3 and 7 within it. So for that, I think there is something else. Its name is F table. If I'm not wrong, it must be F table. Cylinders 1, comma V1, comma A1. And it comes like this. For 4 cylinder, V-shape engine this, straight engine this, 6 cylinder and 8 cylinder. It's just like SPSS like output, isn't it? There is something else, prop.table. Prop.table, if you use prop.table, what will happen? It will say margin is not resourceful. Okay. So maybe basically prop.table converts into the percentage. Because this data is in the numbers. If you want to convert into percentage, then we can use prop table, or I will prefer one from the summary table, SUMMARY, summary tools. I will use C table. C table is wonderful. Now assume you don't know anything about the C table. C table is cross table. Cross tabulation is called C table. So the best part is what you will do, question mark. So what is meant by the question mark? Question mark means I don't know what it is. So now please tell me. So it says, yeah, my pleasure. So it's a cross tabulation. The meaning of the cross tabulation is you will write first the variable X, then the variable Y, then you will write another argument. Remember, all of these are called as arguments. This is C table in the summary tools. It says it's in the PROP, proportion. Proportion, how to write it? Then use NA if you want, total, style, this much arguments are there. And then everything in detail. Like look at the PROP. If you want proportionate on the basis of row. That's the default. Need not to write anything. If you want column wise, then write C. If you want none, write N. If you want for total, write T. Let me show you what's the meaning. Though the best thing here is it will tell you all these things, what the meaning is, and then compulsory, it will tell you an example also, that this is the example. Use the tobacco file, so you know where is the tobacco file. It comes with the summary tool. Then along with that, it will say that use this, use this, use this. So it's a best way. I learned RStudio actually from R. Just use it and you can save this, work on it. So let's see what I'm telling you. I'm saying in the summary tool, let's write it as V1, A1 and see what output it will give you. Very big one. Hope it's visible to you. By default, it converted into the row percentage. How it will be read? Out of the 18 total vehicles having the V-shaped engine, 12 have the automatic transmission, 66%, and 33%, that is 6, had the manual transmission, and so on. Now, I have not asked the row proportion. It says by default, it's a row proportion. If you don't want it, what you can say, PROP is equal to N. N means don't show. Okay, this is the table. I want to know, show it me row wise. Then either you don't write it. If you don't write it, it will automatically show row wise, or the meaning of the row wise is PROP R. This is the same. If you want it column wise, don't tell me the V-shape wise total. Tell me of all the automatic vehicles, that is 19, what percentage were the V-shaped? That is 12 divided by 19 into 100. Out of all the vehicles having the automatic, what percentage had the V-shaped engine? So it says, for that 63% has. For taking this as the 100%, this is 12% and 7% and so on. This comes like this. If you want total on the basis of this 32, out of 32, how many vehicles, what percentage of vehicles were having the V-shaped engine and automatic? So PROP is T. So it says 37% are automatic, 21% are automatic with state, total 19, that is 59% had the automatic, and so on. It is based on this 32. So this way you can compute. Okay, taking it to their MS Word. So you can just copy if you want this command. If you want to simply dismiss, so select it and you can paste it there. Though tomorrow I will share you one option, directly you send it to MS Word, but this option always works. Don't worry about this change of the formatting. We can change. Actually, we will directly send it to MS Word. We won't take this copy paste. This need to be done a number of times. We'll directly send it to there. So it's 4 p.m. Time to stop now. Hope you enjoyed this session. If I tell you one thing, friends, if you stay for 2 days with the RStudio, I guarantee you will never touch the SPSS or other things. By the time your SPSS will open, your entire work will be already there in the MS Word file. It's so fast.